It's that time of year, boys. Turn up some Juice WRLD, cause this is gonna hurt. By the way, this is just my opinion. So the other day I went to Walmart, right? And I walk inside, and the first thing I'm met with is this giant display of just the brightest colors. Just smacking me in the face. I swear, it took me a whole minute for my eyes to adjust. But when they did, guess what I saw? It was this. If bright colors could kill people, this was the goddamn Black Plague. And the more I looked at it, the more disgusted I got. Everywhere I looked was just hearts and flowers and more hearts and chocolate in the shape of hearts and just the red. So much red and pink everywhere. Why? And what makes it all so annoying in the first place is that I see this every year. I have to deal with this every single year. And I can already hear y'all yelling at me. Why is it such a big deal, Fruit? Just mind your own business. It's not like it's hurting anyone. And to that, I don't care. It goes deeper than that. Just hear me out for a second. Alright, so you probably guessed at this point that I don't really like Valentine's Day a whole lot. But no, it's not just that I don't like Valentine's Day. I really honestly hate it, to be honest. Easily the worst holiday of the year. And I can already see you telling me again, oh Fruit, that's just because you're all sad and alone. You talk to 0 females. Maybe you should stop being such a depressed loser, go outside and touch grass or something. And like, bro, stop playing. That's actually cap. Like that's not true at all. Like you know me, bro. Like but like I'm definitely not the only person with this sort of opinion. Just look up I hate Valentine's Day on YouTube and immediately you get all of these videos. Look, even Francis hates Valentine's Day. Or how about this guy? I still can't believe this video has this little views. This guy is speaking straight facts.
I fucking hate Valentine's Day.
Probably my biggest reason for this burning hatred inside of me is simply the commercialism of it all. When I see all these brightly colored displays and hearts and giant stuffed bears and cards, well, okay, minus this one. It all just rubs me the wrong way because it feels fake. It genuinely feels like corporations are just milking the holiday for all it's worth. And you gotta deal with all the talks about love and who's your Valentine and $44 for that? You got me messed up if you think I'm paying $44 for all that. And it's not even about the relationship aspect of it. I'll get to that in a minute. It's just that I don't really have much tolerance for really anything disingenuous. And Valentine's Day just feels so fake and forced and is really only so mainstream because it makes fat stacks, fat racks. It's phony. Alright, now about the relationships aspect. Obviously, I agree that it's very important to have relationships and connections with people, whether it be friends, family, or a significant other. I also believe that it is important to do things with those people. Everybody loves and enjoys being around the people that they care about. I'm not really saying anything crazy here. I'm sure everybody agrees with that. But is Valentine's Day the best way to make people realize that? Like, who in the world is at the checkout with their heart chocolates and bundle of 47 roses or something, and they thinking, yeah, this is gonna deepen my relationship so much? Like, does anybody actually think that, or are they just buying it because they have to, because it's Valentine's Day, and that's just what you do on Valentine's Day? You feel me? And what about the people who don't got all that? What about the people who are just going through it right now? And then society comes along and presents this unrealistic picture of the perfect world where so many people are living just the perfect life that you don't have. Society. Now, obviously that's a bit exaggerated, but you know what I'm saying. It's really not the best for that small group who are already not in a good state mentally. But here's the thing, alright? The one big takeaway from all this opinionated ranting is something that my 17-year-old, very wise self has realized from all of this, is that it's about the mental game, bro. If you're alone this Valentine's Day, or any day really, you got the option to stop caring, not see it as such a big deal. Just focus up on the bag and get on that Sigma grind set. But oh, let me guess. People are gonna say, oh, but that's so much easier said than done. And like, L plus cope harder plus stay mad. Listen, I hope you get out of whatever you're in. But at the end of the day, you gotta take some action for yourself. If you wanna see change in your life, you gotta put in the work. And that applies to literally anything. A few years back, I wrote this story about a guy who was alone on Valentine's Day. Let's give it a read together and see how well it's aged. Eugene woke up with a groan. It was a sunny day. Of course it was. Beams of sunlight managed to creep through his blinds, lighting up the room. Eugene had to strain his eyes and wait for them to adjust. This day was always depressing, no matter what situation he was in. Eugene briefly had a memory from last week. He was walking through his local Walmart, looking for some cereal and bread. Pink and red heart balloons littered the place, and it seemed no matter where he looked, he saw a cheeky display stand filled with fake flowers and those heart containers filled with chocolate, with bright red text that read, "Who's your Valentine?" This only made Eugene sag more, being pulled down by sadness. Now that's only the preview. I might drop that audiobook sometime. But honestly, 8 out of 10. Good stuff. And here's another thing too. My school does this thing every year where you can go up to this booth and buy anybody a crush can. Now this person could be anybody. A homie, a crush, or even one of your e-girl waifus. But like every year, I see this stand, and every year I be sitting in class, and the teachers be passing out all these crush cans to all the people that got them, and I'm just sitting there. Ain't nobody getting me anything. Well, except this one time in 7th grade where my homeboy got me one at the end of the day. I legit remember drinking that entire can in like 15 seconds and almost throwing up afterwards. Good times. But hey, I'm not the only one in them feels. Let's go around and ask some people about their thoughts. Who's your Valentine?
Your mother. Who's my Valentine?
Who's your Valentine?
That's a good question, you know?
But this whole Valentine's Day thing is kind of funny too. Browsing threads and seeing all these incels crying about it does amuse me. Or like, seeing stuff like this, and this, and all this. This kind of stuff is a whole other thing that I'm not gonna really get into, but it's just kind of funny to look at and laugh at. Alright, well, that's about all I gotta say. To the homies that are alone this year, get some V-Bucks, bro. Once you pull up with that Fortnite fit, you ain't got nothing to worry about. And get on that clearance sale, that stuff fire.